Hey, hope y'all enjoying your day wherever you at. So I'm in Florida and yeah, we preparing for a hurricane. One thing about it is that when you're a Floridian, you get used to it. Hurricanes come just like oranges grow in the trees. It just is what it is. You get used to that. That's what it is, right? So it's a lot of things that you have to become accustomed to, right? So hurricane watches, hurricane warnings, what to do, watching the track, what does the track mean, what's the possibilities, One thing about the hurricane, it's going to do what it's going to do. And there really is nothing that you can do about it once it's in motion. It's going to do what it's going to do. So the only thing you can really do is prepare for it the best way that you can. And to be honest, it's the same in life. Life is going to do what it's going to do, right? The only thing you can do is prepare for it, right? So when I was younger, right, I say like around the time I was in college and I was living down south. So listen, if you live down south and the hurricane's come, they will make you feel like the world is about to be over. You hear me? So I never forget, I was in college and the hurricane was coming, and man, it was so dark. And it really was something that, although I was a Floridian, I really wasn't used to it, because at that point, Central Florida had never really got hit. Like Orlando had really never experienced hurricane. We never boarded up windows. Like we didn't come up having to do any of that. So when I'm watching all of this going on, and then when I'm going to like the, going to get gas and stuff like that. Listen, them lines so long. Listen, I was so scared I could not get to Orlando soon enough, because, listen, South Florida made me feel like I was dying that day. You hear me? If I did not get out of there, I was going to die. So I could not get out of there fast enough. And then when I got on the turnpike and the tolls was free, oh my goodness, I knew it was over, right? So it's crazy because, they did not play when it came to preparing. They prepared like, hey, it's about to be the end. Listen, that scared me because I was not ready for that, and had never had to prepare in the way that I seen them preparing. So in my mind, if I could just get to the middle of the state, get me to the O, and this, hey, it's gonna be all right if I could just get to my grandma's house, right? So that's when I learned like the difference between watches and warnings. What does a watch mean? What does the warning mean? So in my mind, what I did was I told myself, listen, you watch for the warning, right? That's what you do. You watch for the warning. The warning is the most serious one, right? The watch comes first. But what you watching for is the warning, because once the warning comes, okay, now we finna party soon, right? So it's the same in life. You watch for the warnings, because as in biblical terms, it always tell you what warning comes before destruction, right? Okay, so just like I said, hurricanes is like life. You watching for the warnings, right? The things that's going on in your life, usually you're going to have, especially if it's turmoil, you're going to have usually some type of warning beforehand. Now, it doesn't always play out like that, but for the instances that you have had warnings, whether you turned a blind eye or you act like you didn't know it was a warning, you act like you didn't see the signs, you didn't catch the red flags, you didn't listen when people was providing instruction, okay, all of that, but they were warnings, right? You got the warnings. You wasn't watching for the warnings, right? But you got them. They was there. So again, like I said, also when we doing this hurricane thing, listen, sometimes hurricanes can be the best and the worst times, right? Worst because of the damage and the destruction that it does. But some of the best times because a lot of times you get to be with your family, the ones who work all the time, or, they don't come around that much. Listen, when the hurricanes come, a lot of times people trying to be with their people, and sit down somewhere and just vibe, just chill, you enjoy the moment. Listen, if you like me and you got natural hair, listen, this the time you want to wear it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You want to wear it because the weather be good. Like sometimes you could just sit on your porch like I'm doing now and just relax and just enjoy that it's not, the heat isn't so dense. It isn't so dry. It isn't, it's a nice time. Your jobs usually let you stay home or let you, work from home or whatever. So A lot of times it's the best and the worst times. It could be the best and the worst times. And it's the same in life when you're going through stuff. Yeah, it's hard and it's tough. The outcome of it, yeah, your lights might be cut off. You might lose your job. You might lose your relationship, but during the relationship, right? It wasn't always bad. It was some good stuff going on too, right? While you was working the job, the check was good. Your salary was well. You know what I'm saying? You was eating. Whatever the situation may have been, it wasn't always bad. Yes, the outcome, the destruction of it may be bad. But then we're going to go back to, guess what? You had some warnings. Chances are you had some warnings. Now, did you take heed to the warnings? No. And then what? Crashed out and burnt, right? So that's the lesson right there. I'm trying to keep it short. I could really eat on this because it's just so many lessons to it. But I say, take the hurricanes and treat it like your life. Prepare for the things that you can prepare for so that when it comes, it can lessen the devastation, right? If you watch for the warnings, that's a big part of it. If you pay attention to the signs, to the flags, to everything, pay attention to the people, not always just what they saying, but what they aren't saying. If you pay attention, watch for the warnings, that will help ease the brunt, because life gonna do what it's gonna do, right? But it'll help ease the damage, or you'll be better prepared for when it comes, right? It won't be just it's just pure devastation. Because in a lot of times, just like with the hurricanes, if you don't prepare, we already seen how, things went in Louisiana. And not to say that all of them didn't prepare, but some of them, they slept on it, and they ended up, having to be on the rooftops and everything. And that's just how you will be with your life. If you do not take heed and prepare for certain times in life, you will be on the rooftop. Whether it's you'll be out of a job, whether it's you'll be homeless, whether your relationship will be, busted, whether, you'll be looking for a job, can't find it, whether, whatever it is, if you don't take the right steps and make the preparations in life, you're going to be just like, as if a hurricane hit and you didn't prepare, because that's how it starts to feel. When things hit you and you're not prepared for it, whether it's mentally, whether it's physically, when you're not prepared for the hard times in life, man, listen, it's devastating. It's devastating to you. And a lot of times, in these days of times, a lot of people are not equipped to deal with devastation, right? I don't care how tough a person may seem on the outside. Mentally, are they tough? Mentally, can they deal with, what happens when they have nowhere to go and none of their friends showing up for them, or none of their family don't want them there? Can they deal with that? A lot of times what I'm seeing now is that, especially people in my age range, I'm starting to see a lot of mental health issues pop up, right? And I have been led to believe that those mental issues are popping up because things in life hit them and they were not ready for it and they were not equipped to deal with it, and it shows up when your homegirl ain't the same homegirl that she was once. When your homeboy, he don't talk the same, he move a little different, life has really challenged them and they didn't know how to deal with that, and like I said yesterday, you got people that have substance abuse issues or whatever going on. Listen, it's just another form of not being able to cope with what life brought them, not being prepared for the things in life that is going to happen, because life gonna do what it do. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be able to weather these storms, literally, physically, emotionally. You got to be able to weather these storms, because the storm's gonna come, right? So hey, it will behoove you to treat your life and the situations in your life just like a hurricane. You could name it hurricane, whatever you want. Hurricane, job loss, hurricane, Negro left me, hurricane, she cheated, hurricane, them churn is a mess, name it whatever. Hurricane, I failed this course, hurricane, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But treat it as such. If you treat the things in life like we treat these hurricanes here, we go out and get everything, stuff we don't even need. We'll go broke. You hear me? We'll go broke for hurricane. Some people turn around and take that stuff right back to the store. I ain't mad at them. You know what I'm saying? But it's because, listen, literally, we're not walking every day prepared. We're not living our life every single day like we're prepared for this, that, or the third to come. But in essence, we really should be. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times we're not. Some people, they do have their houses stocked up with everything just in case, so they don't have to run out to the store and prepare, right? Okay, that same sentiment is what we should be applying in life. Live every day, you know, trying to be prepared for the things that can and will come in life. And if you get nothing else out of this, if you in the Florida area, watch for the warnings, because that's what we always have to do in real life during hurricane time. Whenever, watch for the warnings.